the height, I had 14 doors. Pre-COVID, it was juicy, baby. It was the juice. It was the hit you need every day. Just looking at your account, it was awesome. And he had a bunch of locos, like not crazies, but like local people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go. I gotta go now, guys. I gotta catch some waves. So
yeah, appreciate it. I'll take kudos. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, pro tip: try to get your girlfriend pregnant at 20. It's a pro tip.
All right, what is going on, Try? How are you, man?
Hey, happy Friday. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Try? Thanks for coming on, man. It's good to see you.
Mikey, how are you?
Doing good.
All right, well, hey, thanks for agreeing to jump on the pod with us. And I'll just give a little backstory here. Last year, which it seems like I've known you for probably 10 years, but last year at the beginning of the year, we met at a little coffee meetup in San Diego. And it was for me, it was the first time, awareness that there were other land investors in San Diego. And so that's where we met up originally. And it's been fun getting to know you over the last year and a few months now. But also, thanks for jumping on the pod. I want to get more of your backstory and just share it with the world.
Yeah, there's only one Try Vu out there. So we wanted to make sure that we captured as much of this as we could so that we could share it with everybody else.
Yeah, I text Chris the other day. You know what day it is, right? He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "It's our anniversary. It's a 1 year." Like, what do you mean you forgot? And I was thinking the same thing. There's no way I just met this guy literally a year ago. Like we've talked about all sorts of stuff in life, and yeah, it's been an amazing friendship the last year or so.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, so just for those that don't know you in the land investing world, what's the backstory behind Tribu? Where I kind of want to go back beyond uh, your career and stuff, but where'd you grow up and where are you now? And then also, if you could just share a little bit about your career trajectory and what got you to the land business,
Yeah, sure. I'm a Texas boy. You could tell by the eyes, and I grew up. I grew up in Texas. Moved out to Cali about 15 years ago. I was doing IT this whole time. I love data center storage, virtualization, and it was the thing. That was it. And maybe I had a couple pivotal moments where I read the 4 Hour Work Week, which that Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant. Just always broke and nothing stuck, and like, oh, this is great. I don't got money though. What am I gonna do? Nothing. Just keep on working. And maybe 2017 is when I had my first big midlife crisis. Like I have these weekly with Chris, but I went to management and it was stressful at work. And my wife's like, "Okay, you can't continue doing this." I was pulling a lot of hours at that time at work, and I just HELOC'd my house in beautiful San Diego. Got like a couple $100K worth of money, and I just started buying real estate. And I ran out, of course, and I just kept that. I kept up with that. Save up, buy real estate. Save up, buy real estate. I did that for several years, and then got stuck. Tried flips and got my real estate license, and dabbled a little bit commercial as well. But let's move forward to land. 2023 is when I found land, and it was like the light bulb. Like there was nothing else. There's nothing better, prettier than raw and filtered dirt. And left my job and started flipping dirt at that time, 2023. Yeah, it's only been 3 years, I guess. And yeah, just grew and scaled and did that for the last 2, 3 years. And I met beautiful Chris and Mikey last year, and now life's perfect. So yeah.
Love it. Okay, so you were really starting to buy real estate back. Was that in 2017, 2018, and you were doing some residential real estate, like stacking rentals or doing flips or a little?
Yeah, I got into the Airbnb game 2017, And then I was thinking, oh, this is great. You make like 10K a year extra, or 10, 20K every year. Just buy another Airbnb in San Diego and make another 10, 20K. And houses are expensive out here. You know, you have to have like 50K, 100K, or another 150K, and you just, I didn't have that type of money for sure. And yeah, just did Airbnbs and then started buying out of state rentals. I'm all over the place. You guys already know that. I'm literally all over the place. I didn't buy one by Airbnbs. I think I was in like 7 states at one point, and I was like, yeah, that'd be great to own something out in Florida and Scottsdale, and I was just everywhere. And
Man, I
I
can't
got,
imagine. So you stacked 7 of these Airbnbs?
I think at the height I had 14 doors. I had 14 doors, yeah.
How I mean, that seems like a good time to be buying Airbnbs though. How was the cash flow? Was it working, or was it working for a while and then it stopped, or is it still working? What's the story with Airbnb these days? Because I know for a while it was a hot commodity. Like everybody was talking about Airbnb.
Right. Pre-COVID, it was juicy, baby. It was the juice. It's the hit you need every day. Just looking at your account, just it was awesome. COVID hit, it was awesome too. And then uh printing money, it was awesome because now all your properties like doubled in value. And then the aftermath of printing money came in, and then the regulations and all the Karens out there like, what are you doing in my city? Like, you can't be renting this out. Like, they could care less about, their community and city and housing crisis. Like, but they wanted to complain. And anyhow, that's kind of what happened with the Airbnb market. It's just a tight market, and yeah, losing a little bit of money in certain markets. Started liquidating Airbnbs. And thanks for asking. That's where I'm at right now, Christopher.
Well, were things still going good with Airbnb when you found land, like cash flow wise? I mean, why did you find land and then say, okay, this is the best thing since sliced bread?
Have you ever loved someone so much and there's so much passion and intensity? Like, this was it. And then as soon as it went up, it goes right back down. That was my relationship with Airbnb. Some properties had major repairs. I had squatters. I had a person get shot. I had a roof. I had like a tree fall on one of my Tennessee property. It was just craziness. It was crazy city, and yeah, all that kind of happened all at once while I was still working. And I was like, I wasn't meant for this type of life. It was just chaos. If you had one crew, one area, no problem. They could just, knock it out. But being in so many markets, it was a problem finding good GCs. Like, does anyone ever have problems with GC? Probably not, right? GCs are perfect. Handymen are perfect. They all show up on time and never misquote you. And, all that chaos happened all at once. And it was, yeah, I did not want to be a property manager. And that's, I had property managers kind of helping out with all the Airbnbs. It was still chaos, and the weight was kind of heavy. Like no rent for 6 months or longer. I had termites and bug bites that came back from. They're literally from hell. They just won't die. Like, I nuked the house with pesticides, and they still came back. Like, you name it, I had that issue at one point. So, yeah,
Okay.
I kind of got burnt out, and I was looking for the next thing, and then land came.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, how did land even get on your radar?
My wife, is my better half. She's smarter, prettier, you name it, she's everything. When she gets this little spark on her eye, you can't turn her off. And she was in an accountability group with some other, heavy hitters, and they were like commercial brokers. There's like realtors making like, $1 billion a year. She had a heavy hitting crew going to the 8-figure market. She asked one of them, "Hey, what's your favorite industry?" And she had this little dirt flipping business with a couple VAs, and she loved it. It was just passive and easy, and I knew that was coming. So my wife bugged me about it. I was like, "No, like, we're not doing dirt. Dirt's the worst. Like, it's so boring. Like, why would you ever touch this?" And sure enough, I knew it wasn't going away. She kept on mentioning it. She's like the ultimate sales machine. Plants it in there, and there's no negativity, and it kind of grows into like, it's like a bamboo. I think a bamboo is like you plant it and then it grows like 10 feet in two hours or something. anyhow, she did that to me. She's I can't say no to her, and um, she signed up for a program. I went to a conference, and I was hooked. I was sold. I met the community. Everybody that sells dirt is super nice for some reason. It's all about abundance. Let me tell you every tip and tactic I used, and yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, I met you two, and you guys are literally the same thing too. Just abundant, beautiful community, dirt flipping side of things.
So, was this the first time that you worked together on a business venture, or were you guys both working together on the Airbnbs? Did she have another job? Talk about
Yeah,
that dynamic a little bit.
yeah, we both had W-2 jobs at the time, and we were just buying real estate and kinda pseudo managing on the side, and then, yeah, this was the first time we really worked together in the, starting a business. The dirt flip business is a startup. It's not passive at all. Usually you guys know it's literally a work.
Yeah, but you guys complement each other so well. I mean, she seems to be of the mind of like the operator and executor, and you've got a great visionary mindset, and you've got this marketing and sales personality to you. I mean, you're one of the most likable guys that I know. And so you seem to complement each other really well. So it 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 makes sense that you guys were able to just step right into it and start doing deals right away.
Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing. You just gave me goosebumps, by the way. Yeah, she's amazing. She's like the sales machine. Took us a while to kind of figure out what positions and what rows and seats to work with. Like she was doing sales and I was doing acquisitions, but that didn't quite pan out. And then she was more front facing. I was more back end. I mean, from the IT side of things, it kind of made sense. And both like there's integrators and there's visionaries, and sometimes we're 50-50, sometimes 60-40. So we're still trying to figure that out. Yeah, because we've been W-2 for like 90 years. Trying to flip over to entrepreneur wasn't easy. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually want to dig into that for a second. So what's your wife's background career-wise?
Yeah, she came from, this is funny. She was a pharmacist. So super technical. She could read these like 18 syllable words. All these drug words are, not easy to read. She has a memory like an elephant. She doesn't forget anything. Literally, she doesn't forget anything. And you know what pharmacists do? They double check things. Doctor prescribes it. They give you some meds and they make sure the dosage is right. Like they're literally double checking to make sure everything's done right. Um, she should have never been in that room. Like the way she sells, like she's just easygoing, personable, and I probably fed into her ego. Like I put her on a pedestal for like 50 years, and she's used to getting her ways with me, and it kind of gravitated, and then spilled over to like the land side of things. Like she could sell dirt like no other. I don't know if you ever looked up my page and tried to call and got her on the phone. You probably bought something from me and didn't know it.
Probably. Yeah, I could see that. So how did you premeditate the whole breakdown of the business? I mean, you went to a course, a class, met the community, you started getting involved in land, but did you guys actually have like a discussion? Hey, you know what? Like now that we understand the business a little bit, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that. Was there a division of roles and responsibilities that you guys had laid out, or was it just like, you know what? Let's just get these deals going and figure it out?
Yeah, if you ask her, she's gonna say, "Yeah, we're meticulous about it. We just discussed it. We, did a kickoff meeting and discovery meeting, and then the way I recall it, the way I recall it is we literally winged it all, and just made things happen. But there's usually three truths, right? Her truth, my truth, and something in the middle, probably the right thing. So yeah, that's my story.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So when you did make the jump over into land, were you out of W-2 at the time? Was she out of W-2 at the time?
Yeah, yeah. We did a couple flips and got a real estate license, and things were going good. She was doing residential real estate full time. I was still on the tail end of my IT career at that time. Yeah, we got good advice. It was like if both you guys quit at the same time, your nice cushy W-2 jobs, you guys are gonna be in a big pickle of hurt. And so we staggered it out. Like, you want to go first, or you want me to go first? And she's like, I'll quit first. And then she left, and then I left a year later.
and you made it happen.
Yeah, it's super scary. I think you guys have been entrepreneurs and for a while. The first year, man, it's rough, and then the second year is rough too. Like I think every year is rough. But yeah, you make the best out of it. Of course, correct, right? And yeah, it's nice having a community of entrepreneurs around to to share the wins with, and then, man, hey Chris, I gotta complain about something. You got time for a call?
Yeah. Yeah. It can be kind of lonely for sure. And that's what part of the being part of a community is super helpful with is you get to just share those wins and losses.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And then you guys know dirt and all the dirt tactics and strategies and ups and downs with dirt, and so yeah, it's been a nice compliment meeting you guys.
What was your first deal? What did that actually look like?
Yeah, way back 3 years ago, um, I think we were doing dirt for officially since 2022. We bought some parcels. Nothing moved. October, November, December, January. Nothing moved, and then we joined the coaching program in like March, April. Nothing moved.
Mm.
2, 3 months later, I think we got our first sale. I don't know, it was a couple $1,000 or something. Seller finance, I think we got like $100. Like 7 months into like officially starting, we got 1 sale that month. And then next month, nothing or something. And then it went to 3 sales, then 7 sales, then 10 sales. And yeah, it was just stacking at that point. Like, there's no way I could fail. Like, this thing just does not stop. That's the way I felt the first year. It was like, you guys are going to the moon? No, we're going to Mars, literally. Like, we're gonna, take Elon with us. But yeah, the first year was gnarly, dude. And the second year was pretty crazy too. But then the dip, as you know, like you can't have all rainbows and sunshine. There's dips here and there. Big.
Yes, there's lots of bumpiness in the entrepreneur journey for sure. So okay, cool. So you were stacking deals, and you had a long period of time though where you bought properties, and then your first disposition didn't happen until 7 months later, and then it started to stack. Right? I mean that's a long time to kind of you know generate some revenue. Like, how were you guys feeling during that whole time? Was it still positive mindset? Like, all right, no matter what, this is gonna happen, or were you starting to have any doubts, or like, what was your headspace like at that point?
It was high optimism on Quinn's side, and I was panicking. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Let's just turn around and get jobs again or something. Um, yeah, yeah. It's been such a long time. Back in 2023. Yeah, I think it was just, yeah, high doubt, but you know what? Just kinda pushed through.
Dude, oxytocin is a real thing. It just blacks out the pain. Um, but I'm curious, like going back, so 7 months, how many properties would you say that you guys had acquired over that time before you had really had success in selling the first one?
We had 10 properties, nothing moved. And then literally when we started, like, we, like, 10x the mailers, and then we bought someone out, you had, like, another 30 properties in inventory. And yeah, so what was that, 30, 40 properties at that time? And then things started moving. Like, literally, like, you didn't have inventory, nothing moves. So yeah, that's a great point. Like, if you have onesies and twosies, they just kinda stick around for whatever reason, but you have massive inventory, everybody's like, "Let me have some. Some of your candy, try." And it just, like, started selling like crazy.
Yeah, that was one thing I think that we always found in our business. There's definitely a correlation between sales and inventory levels, right? And I think there's kind of a misconception around where, okay, I can go buy a property and then I'm going to just sell that one property, and then I'll buy two properties, and then I'll sell those two properties. And really, you can do that. Just the likelihood of being able to sell that property or turn that property really quickly is, it needs to be a very good acquisition, or it needs to be very competitively priced, right? And so for us, as we were scaling our business, there was always that ratio, that correlation, where we were trying to nail down what's the optimal amount of inventory for us to be able to capture the sales volume that we wanted to get. And we saw uh, a very similar thing where as soon as we got our inventory levels up, we started to see sales on a more consistent basis. And then we kept pumping up our inventory, and then and that's where kind of the business starts to break, right? Because you buy a bunch of inventory and then you've got to sell some of that inventory, and then you've got to go back and you got to buy some more inventory to replace that inventory, and then you're juggling a whole bunch of things, and things are breaking, and it's exposing a lot of those holes, and you gotta just start filling in wherever you can.
So what was your marketing channels at first, and as far as acquisitions and have they evolved over time? Like I know a lot of people either start with direct mail or they might start with auctions, and there's sort of like those two paths that people often take. But what was it for you guys?
Kind of all over the place. We tried cold calling and then the mailers. The mailers has it's been consistent. Try a little bit of RVMs as well. But yeah, I think the main bread and butter is the mailers, and then tax auctions later on as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you started with mail and then went to auction. What do you have a preference? Like what are the pros and cons of each in your mind?
Yeah, I met so many people, and I think the best scenario is when you double up, like you do mailers and cold calling, mailers and RVMs. It's always two for some reason. Is what works.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're tried and true for sure. I think like the double up portion of it makes a lot of sense though. I also hear that from a lot of people, and it's kind of that omni-channel approach where they're seeing you in the mail and then suddenly they see you somewhere else, or they hear your voicemail and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." You know, Try wants to buy land from me. And there's some sort of familiarity. And so if you can stack it, like direct mail is kind of expensive, but if you can layer on a lower cost channel to get them to hear your name again or see you again, it's a great way to just kind of like get more touch points at a lower cost.
Definitely. I haven't cold called in a while, but I think it's like you're just saying about the voice thing. It'd be more personal. They can hear you on the phone too. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, totally. Well, so what's like an average deal for you guys? And where I'm going with this is there's a bunch of different segments of the land space, right? There's lower dollar, kind of higher volume plays. There's guys that flip for all cash. There's folks that are doing subdivides and they're selling some for cash and some for terms. What's the bread and butter deal for you guys?
Our goal at first was like 10K. That's like the magic number. Everybody wants 10K a month in passive income.
Yeah.
That's where we were like, man, that's a juicy number. What's it gonna take to get 10K of passive income coming in? You just retire. Was 67 sales at 150 bucks. 150 bucks a month. You 67 of these is like 99,999, like 10,000 bucks basically. And that was kind of our goal for the first year. We try and buy properties that can produce that income. 2K to like 7K was the purchase price around there to get like 150 bucks a month.
Gotcha. And what's the average like time for the time from the time that you buy the property to the time that you will get it sold, whether it's on cash or terms?
We were holding things for about 3 months before they sold on average. Yeah. And then some properties up to 6 months, but on average, we were selling about every 3 months.
About 3 months. Yeah, that's kind of like what we shoot for as well. So okay, cool. And like, let's talk about team a little bit. As you were going through the course and the community. I mean, what is the general consensus on building a team? Where is the team? Are they remote? Are they in the office? Is it a combination of both? And, like kind of how do you break up those team members into specific areas of the business?
Man, I love building teams. Like one of my favorite things to do. We hired like a bunch of VAs from the Philippines for like $2, $10, all like you name the role. I hired it. We try to hire a chief of staff. It was great. And then I had a good buddy that I met through the land side of things, and the Airbnb went out to meet him, and then he just happened to have his yearly annual meeting with his team, and he had a bunch of locals, like not crazies, but like local people, and it was amazing. He had a beer with his acquisitions and his sales and and marketing girl intern. It was like that's what I want. And I went through this whole, thing try to get locals. It didn't quite work out. I'm in San Diego. Uh,
Yeah.
brother, even In and Out's leaving. They can't afford the, the local pay here, the minimum wage. Yeah, it didn't quite work out, but I tried my darndest for the local team because that's what I want. I wanted people in front of me, next to me, rubbing elbows physically, and yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. But yeah, and then um, this was a big boo boo I did. I don't know if you ever made mistakes in the land business, but I made a bunch. Overhired at one point. I did a inventory check at the end of the year. I had 100 people in my Slack. So I literally hired up to 100 people in 1 year, bunch of contractors, and some last a day or two, some last a week or two. Like it totaled up to 100. It's like, who are these people? And that's when I kind of had to start like. That's when I made the pivot. It was like I didn't the IT side of things in me. Like I worked in corporate America, and just kind of pile people underneath you if you do okay. And pile teams underneath you is like punishment by success. And I mistakenly did the same thing in the land business. I think at one point I had like 30 contractors, and then when I met you, you're like you had 30 contractors, and you're like 10x me. I was like, what am I doing with all these people? Like, there's not enough work to go around. I just skilled for no reason. I was a colonizer. We pivoted last year, the last couple quarters, just to like cut the fat, trim the fat. I want a simple, good life like you guys, where you're just surfing and skiing every other Thursday, and hanging out with friends, drinking the good stuff, and yeah, that's kind of the new goal.
Yeah, well, that's just because Mike skis and surfs on Thursdays or whatever, but that's because he has me doing all the work. He's somehow tricked me to do that. So you and Mike are really you've bought into the who not how theory, it sounds like.
Yeah. I that's yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go. I gotta go now, guys. I gotta catch some waves. So no, I wish that's how it was.
But okay, so 30 people. So you're yeah, you really did, coming from corporate America, there's a huge shift in thinking in just how you're going to build a company, right? When you have W2 behind you and you have massive financial backing above you, you're looking to hire people and hopefully they work out. But I mean, the consequences are not as severe for you when you're in that role, right? But when it's your own business, it's a whole different world. Like you need folks to perform and they have to perform quick. If they don't, they've got to get out quick and you need to rehire, retrain, and it's a huge lift. Like, I mean, it's I'm glad you kind of shared the bad part about it first, but like who do you think was your best hire and like what made them work?
My son was probably my best hire. So he just graduated college, and he was like, "Dad, I don't want an office job."
Mhm.
We just let go of our chief of staff VA at that time, and I was like, "I got a position if you want it. We're gonna grind it out for a while until we figure things out." And he's like, "Okay, I want in." And it was great because like literally people talk about legacy and land, and that, and then what happens is, of course, their kids don't want anything to do with their business. But yeah, my son was like, I went in, and we started him with like baby steps, acquisitions, a little bit, just calling people back, some mailers and documentation, back end stuff, and then moved into marketing and then sales and management. And I was like, all right, 1 year in, he's gonna be on fire. We're gonna step out. We're gonna be billionaires. Yeah, and he's a kid, right? Like just graduating college. I was like, okay, it's gonna take a minute. I forget, like, it takes a minute to develop skills, and yeah, even sales skills, that's gonna may take 2, 3 years before you become a top closer, 2, 3 years to become a top manager. So we moved it from a 1 year plan to like a 9 year plan. So kind of individual contributor 2, 3 years, and then co-manage operator leadership, 2, 3 years, and then off to the races. We'll be in the board. I'll be surfing and skiing with you guys every day, and he runs it in the last 2, 3 years. That was the goal. That's kind of the rough draft plan right now.
Well, I mean, how far into the business were you when you brought him in?
Let's see, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, so
And
you were just starting. I mean, that's cool because it could be the other scenario where it's like, hey, you've built this successful business for 20 years and suddenly, here's the nepotism and you bring the son in and he really doesn't know much and he doesn't deserve to be there and the employers are going, what the heck, right? But this is like, I mean, he basically started it with you. He might not have the maturity, but I mean, he was there at the very, very beginning, right?
yeah, when we had 10 properties, we just buy 1 or 2 here and there. We got 10 after a while, and then like 10x the Millers. Like he was the one pushing it out. And then when we had like 30 deals coming in a month, like we were gonna buy, we're like, man, what deed do we use? Like what are we doing? Like who's doing the deed and recording all this? Yeah, he had to suffer with us as we figured it out. That was the good and bad was, man, we had no processes and systems. We kind of knew what we were doing, but not at scale. And it broke everything, right? Like buying 1 property a week versus like 10, 20 a week. Like that's a whole nother, you got to really automate and have a checklist at least, right? And we started doing all that at that time. So yeah, it was a really good um, test on your systems and processes.
Well, Mike and I both have young children, and I think the fact that he's still with you 3 years in and doing even more is a testament to how you raised him and how your family operates.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'll take kudos. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
another
mean,
pro tip. Try to get your girlfriend pregnant at 20. That's a pro tip.
well, he probably, you guys, I mean, you have 4 kids, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Quinn have 4 kids. We got all our offsprings between 20 and 30 years old, and then yeah, so we're on the tail end of things.
Yeah. So they got to grow up with you guys grinding. So I'm sure that imparted some lessons on them, right?
Yeah, I mean, they seen us with the W-2 stuff, and we're all Texas people, and then we moved out to California, and they were young when we moved to California, and and yeah, we just kind of try to get more balance in life. Right, it's not all about work. Um, like in SoCal, it's beautiful. You literally could go to the beach every day with your baby and play at the beach for free. You pay the sunshine tax, but that was kind of the rough plan. Like, and San Diego's an amazing city. The weather's amazing. Beaches are awesome. You got the best land investors in the world here. I just found out.
We've kind of hit on some of the things that were some of the challenges that you guys went through. What would you say are some of your favorite, most enjoyable parts of the business? I mean, you did mention you love building teams and you love working with people. You're a great people person. But what are some of the other things that working in the land space has brought you?
I'll give you 2 stories. The first time we got to double digits sales in a month when my daughter wanted more pets. We wanted a cat, and I'm like, no, we already got 2 dogs. We already got 4 kids, and then 2 dogs. And I was like, there's no way. And then somehow she tricked my wife into wanting cats too. And I was like, all right, whatever. We only had like 1, 3, and 7 sales, something like that, like 3 months in. I was like, if y'all can get me 10 sales a month, all right, we'll talk about it. And there's no yes. There's like yes, and then I want more. Yes. So somehow like my wife figured out how to get 10 sales a month. And then she said, we found the, but here's the thing. It's one of those, fancy cats from Europe or something. And it comes with a brother. You can't just buy one. So you're paying top dollar for a cat and you got to get both pairs. I was like, there's no way. I said one cat. If you even get 10 sales. And sure enough, it was October of 2023. We got 2 cats. So like, they figured it out the way. So yeah, that probably my most memorable story. How we broke double digit sales. The other the other amazing part, we kind of talk about it, but um, man, I made so many good friends along the way. I can't even say enough about it. Like I know I literally could call Chris at any moment. We don't talk every day, every week, every month. Sometimes we don't catch up, but I know, like, Chris is one of those people like, "Man, I'm kinda struggling, you gotta admit it." He's like, "Dude, I call me," right? Like, and, we just hit our anniversary, like, last month or whatever it is. We haven't known each other a year, but, like, the bond is there, the loyalty is there, the friendship's there. Uh, me and Chris is only, like, 12, 13 months in. Over the last 3 years, I met so many amazing people in the land business. I met a lot of, Christians with 4 kids, and, oh, what's going on, dude? But, like, it seems to be, like, a common theme, like, for whatever reason, I'm attracting a bunch of people, a bunch of kids, that are Christians. Anyhow, that's got another random fun fact.
Yeah, it is a pretty impressive community of people that are. I think what attracts me to it so much is that everybody's very like-minded. We're all driven. We've got that entrepreneurial spirit, but knowing that we suffer alone at times, that we can just reach out. And we've all been there. We've all been at different stages at different times, and sometimes back to the same stage, or felt like we escaped something and we got sucked right back in. And you can reach out, and people are very receptive and open and willing to help. It is a pretty amazing community.
All right. I want to zoom back a little bit. I know it's 3 years ago, and it's the space has changed, and your business has evolved, and so much has gone on. But like, let's just go back to the beginning. I mean, what are some of the things that you feel like a lot of land investors get wrong at the outset? And I mean, we have these rosy colored glasses, and we want to take on the world and go to the moon and beyond and go to Mars and all these things, right? But like, I mean, if you were to go back and give yourself some advice, or just give a brand new land investor some advice, like, I don't know. I mean, what do most land investors get wrong in your mind?
Our favorite topic is books. Everybody loves books, right? Everybody checks it and goes into Zero or QuickBooks and logs in their stuff and reconciles every day, right? Literally, no one does it. They try to outsource it, and they literally have no idea about all the chaos they're creating for themselves. And yeah, that's probably the biggest bottleneck that no one understands, and they outsource it, and they pray to whatever God they pray to. Like, it looks good, and they're not going to get caught with a big tax bill at the end of the day. I think that would be the number one thing. Like, the numbers is the like when you're into business, it's all about that counting. Like, that's the language of businesses. It's the counting, the P&L, the balance sheet, cash flow. I mean, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out cash flow stuff, but man, you gotta know your P&Ls. You gotta know your balance sheet. You gotta maximize all your profit and minimize your taxes as much as possible. And you shouldn't do it at the end of the year when it's like there's nothing you can do about it. So that'd be my biggest tip. Like, learn it fast, be around it, and yeah, don't give up because you have to learn that language.
Well, I love that topic. So, if you're starting out though, the bullets are flying, you're on the battlefield and you're trying to do deals. Like, how do you set up the books the right way? How do you allocate time to set up the books the right way? Or are there any specific sources in the land space? Because I know the land books they're complicated, right? You've got cash flips, those are easy, but then you have seller financing, and that adds a whole new layer. And it's also hard to predict the cash flow. But I mean, if you're starting out in the land space and you're about to go on this journey of buying inventory and then selling it two different ways, cash sales and term sales, what's the easiest way to set up the books? And also, how do you not be the bookkeeper?
Man, I had so many advice. I'm gonna give you a bunch of wrong advice because and then you get to pick which wrong one you want to try. I don't know the answer. Um, I've,
Well, let's simplify it though. If you're just starting out now, because I know you know a lot about books, because I know the journey you've been on. Like, you have no inventory right now. Like, step one, get QuickBooks, get Zero, get either one, and then step two, like, set up a chart of accounts. Or
yeah, that's one way to do it. I took the path like I don't need to know this stuff, and I hired it out, and they just kind of logged things in there. Then, funny enough, my bookkeeper left, and then I hired another bookkeeper, and they're like, "Oh, this is all wrong, by the way. Try." And then they redid it, and I'm like, "All right, everything's roses again." And, this happened like 3 times last year, where like we were they're tapped out, left me, had, caught them doing stuff. And then the new booker comes in and they're like, dude, this is all wrong. And I could not believe it. And then the upfront cost. So if I just chipped away at it, I took courses on accounting. Read books on accounting, and yeah, it just didn't stick. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but like you just do 2, 3 things, learn it, do it well, learn 2, 3 more things, learn it well, just keep on chipping away at it and don't give in. Don't give in to the fear of failure, whatever is getting to you, the fear of being overwhelmed, phone a friend. I had so many people tell me so many different things, and then you just kind of like take it, just take it like they kind of figured it out. I had CFOs look at my stuff and they would tell me stuff, and I'm like, all right, that makes sense. And I go back to doing nothing. Um, but yeah, just don't give in to like fear of failure. Like you're gonna fail a little bit. Maybe you're gonna just fail a little bit less every other day. Yeah, you'll eventually get better that way. Just 1% better, right? What's that book? Just get 1% better. So yeah,
Something like that. Yeah. But what I hear you saying is like take ownership of the books. Don't just straight outsource it.
right, right. Log in,
Yeah.
log.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that's really, really good advice in the sense that, we battle as entrepreneurs and knowing when to delegate, when to outsource, when to keep things kind of under the umbrella of what we're doing, right? And I think that we made that same mistake. We were fortunate enough to have landed with a bookkeeper who did do some initial structuring and setup that was correct. It was accurate. It was the right way, but it was it was relatively new as far as with the term sales and just the treatment of those term sales or the finance sales, and there were some complexities in there that we didn't understand very well, and we kind of just said, at least me speaking for myself, I kind of just said, okay, I'm going to trust you. And then when it came tax time that first time around, it's like, this doesn't make sense the way that I thought it was going to. And then we had to really dive in and understand to make sure that things were being booked appropriately. And then that gave us the insight of maybe there are some better ways of doing this that are ways where we can take some advantage of some tax strategies or some things that we can do throughout the year that, can kind of help us get to a better financial position overall. But, Chris and I, as we evolved in our business, we got to the point to now we look at the finances on a daily basis every day. I mean, that is a checkbox on our list each individually, and we'll bring things up to each other as we see things, but we're looking at them from our own lens. And it has helped us tremendously in being able to forecast and budget and make decisions as to when's the right time to hire, when do we need to scale back on things, when do we have a little bit more dry powder that we can go out and be a little bit more aggressive in our acquisitions, and when do we need to pull different levers and maybe sell some notes or sell some properties for cash and free up some more capital. You have to have that foundational knowledge to be able to make those decisions, and you cannot outsource that. So, man, really, really good advice there.
That was beautiful, Mikey. That was eloquent and beautiful. That's well put. We're building a business for profit. We literally forget that things are working, but we don't check on the profit. That makes no sense, right? We're trying to make things easier for the team and the operations, and we're doing it for money. And yeah, money is all over the place. It's not your bank account. It's not just your bank accounts. You got AR, AP, debt services. The money's in and out everywhere, and you gotta know all of that. So yeah, we'll put Mikey.
Yeah,
Any
that's piggybacking off of you, man.
any good books out there any good books that you'd recommend for this?
Yeah, there's Scott Todd. He took his course, not a book, but took his course, Profit First for Real Estate, the second edition. Read the book, didn't do anything, and then we hired the coach and then started doing things. That's been really good. There's two. There is the book called Accountonomics or something. I didn't. There wasn't. You needed to buy the physical book. I bought the Audible, of course, and didn't read, or listen to that even. You got to look at the charts. So, yeah, kind of know yourself. I needed someone to hold my hand. Like, let me walk you through this one, step two. So kind of know yourself, and sometimes books is just yeah, it won't cut it. But yeah, I'm sure you guys could read books and figure things out. I couldn't.
It's hard. It's not easy, man. I mean, taking things from a concept to a practical application is it's not always just this linear line where you can just say, "Oh, I've taken this concept here and I can just apply it really easily over here." I mean, there's so many different components and considerations that need to be brought in, especially with our business. It's not easy, but you got to keep grinding through it. You got to make sure that you understand it, right? And I think that's your point in getting you to where you've been now on the journey. Like it's a journey.
Yeah, that could be a new business adventure for us where we do like a AA style meeting for accounting in the land business. Like we'll be billionaires.
Come and share your suffering with us.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be
I think there should be Tribu's accounting service for land investors, and we could roll that out. So that'd be it. I mean, you're the pro at it. But yeah, I think I do think that would be a valuable service, to be honest, because it is tough in bookkeeping. Most people just find a bookkeeper somewhere and they do the books and they hope the books are right. Then the end of the year comes around and they're like, oh, I owe a bunch of taxes, or I made no money and I'm taking a big loss. And either way, it's not like a great outcome. But if you can be proactive about it and you know your books throughout the year and you're saying, okay, well, we're in the middle of the third quarter and we're showing a gain of X. How do I mitigate my taxes now? What levers can I pull? Then you can plan and not get to the end of the year, or worse, start the next year off when you don't have time to do anything and owe a huge tax bill when you could have just pulled a few levers, maybe in September, October, November of the year before. All right. I want to ask you just perspective on the industry now. You've been in it now for 3 years. Land investors are really good people. I have that, experience. Michael does too. We always enjoy like folks that are investing in land for some reason. We get along with them. They're entrepreneurial. They're doing dirt. Don't know why, but good group of people. What's going on with the industry as a whole in your mind as far as the land space? Is the industry heating up? Is it slowing down? I mean, just hot take is fine.
yeah. If I had to sum it up, there's a lot more coaching programs and gurus out there, and they're stacking clients like crazy. So yeah, I think it used to be kind of a secret niche, but I think the cat's out of the bag. And yeah, everybody's jumping in, and their mothers too. And some are successful, but there's a lot of people tapping out too. So there's still deals to be made for sure. So yeah, I'm so optimistic about the industry. I think it's still like there's too much dirt. Like I know this like a scarce resource. Like they're not making any more land, but man, there's still a ton of acreages out there to make deals on for sure. So yeah, still optimistic about.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is when the gurus come up and they kind of teach their method in their areas, right? And so you're going to learn about land through someone else's experience, and they're likely going to drive you towards a certain like layer of the land industry, right? And maybe even specific markets. So you might see that some of these markets get really crowded, but then hey, the adventure is yours, right? Like not a lot of people are talking about some random county in Michigan, right? Like everybody's flocking to the same area. So you can definitely find honey holes or even strategies that really work well for you, I think. I think you're right though in the guru sense, like there's a lot of them, but I do think that they only give you that first starting point, right? They give you an intro to land, and then the more creative and just like I guess when you can think a little bit outside of the box and not just go to the exact same places that everybody goes and use the exact same marketing channels, then you can really still be successful. Like I don't know if you want to share your latest marketing channel. I was going to ask you, but I mean, I crack up at your Instagram.
That. Oh, I got nothing to lose, right? Like I don't get any sales. Instagram and those social media. So like, why not? Right? Like, I got literally nothing to lose. So, but yeah, you guys kind of like paved the way there, where like you guys kind of talked about other avenues like SEO and versus some of the paid platforms, and I was like, that makes sense. Like, if you're gonna do everything like everybody else, you're just gonna get the same results, or like kind of it's just gonna get saturated at a certain point, and you're just fighting to a zero sum game. But if you're not competing with anyone else, you're just you're just trying to improve yourself. That's when it kind of clicked. Like, okay, let me give that a shot. Like, I gotta build my brand, my story, my voice, and I think I'm somewhat of a funny, inappropriate, likable guy, and I don't know how to put that quite into context yet on social media without getting canceled, but, I'm trying.
I'd say
Well,
you're succeeding.
yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's great, man. And to your point, I think what's missing a lot is authenticity, and people just want to know who you are and who your team is, and you're you're a lighthearted, funny, enjoyable guy, and that comes through in the marketing there, and that resonates with people. And so it's a long-term game, though. You gotta stick with it. You don't just see immediate conversions right away, but as we found in anything with marketing, it's going to be staying in front of that person, letting them establish or build some trust with them, and then over time, when they are ready, you're going to be the first person they go to, because that messaging has resonated with them. You're the guy that they want to do business with. People do business with people that they like. So I commend you on it, man. I love it.
Appreciate it. You guys are so likable, man. I definitely buy from you guys.
Well, hey man, we've been on for a while. I know you are a busy man, so don't want to keep you on too much longer, but want to just kind of rapid fire a few questions at you just for fun and see what comes back. On the dispo side, since we're talking about this, on the sales side, when you're selling a property, favorite marketing channel, what is it for you?
The sales side, man, I would love it to be, on the social media, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Um,
what is performing better? What is performing better? Like, would you say the marketplaces are the best, or like they're the tried and true, or is there something else?
I think that's the bread and butter for the space I'm in. Those the paid platforms would get you the most sales right now.
Hmm.
I'm trying to manifest my social media outperforming them. So we'll see. I'm putting
Yeah.
it
Okay. Good stuff. Favorite land deal that you've ever done?
out. My least favorite. This one I got sued. That's probably my least favorite. Yeah.
What happened?
I'm almost out of that one, so we're still kind of litigating, but yeah, I'm so close. I'm like probably 30 days out on that one. But
Can
yeah,
you share, or is it got to be top secret until the case is closed?
it's so No, it's not juicy. It's okay. I mean, I bought something, sold it to her. It was her husband or something, or boyfriend, one of those scenarios, not sure. But then fast forward like 6 months of payments. Yeah, maybe a year later, I get a letter in the mail, and like, hey, you violated some international wire like tapping. I was like, what is going on? And yeah, I called both of you guys, like, because you guys got like hookups with the attorneys and stuff. But yeah, you guys are technical guys. You guys know about security. You guys know about uh, getting permissions to track people through pixels, and I had no idea. But yeah, you gotta get cookies on your website saying yay or nay. You accept or deny. I hate the little pop-ups, and now I know why. But you gotta get permission to track people if you have like meta ads and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, the cookie consent policy issue.
which you guys have on your platform. So kudos. Good platform.
Yeah, you really pushed us. You really
Yeah,
pushed us into that one.
you did help us tremendously there. What about so if we're gonna stay on like kind of the land horror stories, have you had any stories of uh properties where somebody did something illegally and you had to kind of jump into a situation or anything that was unexpected?
Let me pull up the one from like yesterday night. Let's see. Sheriff called department. Okay, here it is. Existing buyer's family went out to visit a property in X County X. Racist, in quotes, brought out 30 people to chase them off, claiming it's their land. Buyer wants to switch properties. Told him that's no problem. We got a ton of problems. Called the sheriff department waiting for a call back. XOXO. There you go. There you have it. That's from
Yeah,
the
so that's cool, man. Thanks for sharing that because I do think there's there is a conception in where you're not necessarily dealing with the tenants and the toilets and the termites and there is a big attractive component there, right? Where you don't have to necessarily deal with all of those compliance regulations and issues that come from those things. But just because we sell land doesn't mean that we don't deal with any of the issues, right? And so we've got a bunch of those horror stories as well. And it's just part of the business. You gotta go into the business with the mindset knowing that you're gonna have some challenges and you're just gonna work through them. And there's a way to work through them, right? So in that situation, I imagine your next steps, you're gonna continue to work with the sheriff and then you're gonna get these people off the property and then you'll be able to go through and sell the property again, right? And it's just part of a process.
I mean, there's probably racists that want to buy this land now that it's back in inventory. So I gotta maybe make a marketing for racists. So them, I don't know.
We got the property for you.
Yeah,
You'll be canceled. You'll be canceled on that one. So, all right, two
big
more
dis-
questions, and we're gonna let you go. So, most underrated strategy in land investing, if you have one, what would you say the most underrated strategy is?
I think the SEO, building your own brand. I think that's the most underrated. Everybody builds everybody else's platform brand when they need to focus on themselves, and it's like barely emphasized.
Love it, love it. Okay, cool. One tool you could not live without in the land business.
Cool. Oh, baby. I think I'm in love with chat. Like,
Chat
I think
GPT.
chat wasn't there 3 years ago, but chat GPT is like, it's like that. Yeah. You can't, I go every day, several hours with chat. So yeah,
We're we're gonna have to do a whole episode on AI.
Yeah. We'll bring you back
go
on
ahead. Let's do
track.
it.
All right, man. I think we hit all the high points. Mike, do you got anything else you want to grill try on before we turn them loose?
No, man. I just love spending time with you. You got such infectious energy, and everybody that you're around, they walk out feeling better than when they came in. And so we appreciate you coming on the show. I know people are going to get a lot of insight in this because you're just like us and you're just like them. We started and we had to grind through and there's a lot of ups and downs. We'll be real about those, but we're always here to support each other. And here we are at the end of the day. You're 3 days later, hundreds of deals done. You still got a rock in business and you're exploring other opportunities, other things that you can get into that are interesting and fun and kind of extensions of this business here. And that's what I think the majority of people are looking for getting into this space. They want some of that freedom. They want to build that passive income. They want to have uh, the ability to control their own destiny. And you've proven that you can do that. You can go from the W-2. You can take a little risk and persevere. So appreciate you coming on to share the story, man. It's going to be inspiring for a lot of people.
Appreciate it. It's always fun with you guys. So thank you.
All right, where can people find you?
They could call you to call me. Let's run that way. No. Yeah, I'm on Instagram and I think I'm on TikTok now, maybe. But yeah, just yeah, hit me up. Just call my cell. It's probably the easiest.
You want to leave your cell phone number for everybody to call here on live?
I think it's not a
We can
great.
edit it out.
Yeah. Click the link below for details. Let's see if you put it in there.
Okay, we can drop it in if you want. So, but hey, man, good seeing you, and thanks for jumping on with us. And I'll see you in person soon.
Hey, beautiful. Thank you, guys.